Okay, before we get started here, I'd like to fully disclose something. I'm not a professional, I'm not a doll doctor, I'm not a professional doll surgeon. This procedure that I'm doing here isn't even going to be the optimal way to do it because I'm just using just clear silicone. I don't have the skin tone match that you mix in it to make a nice invisible repair. So what I'm doing here is going to leave some scars on Sarah, so it's not going to look perfect. So just take that into account when watching this. If any of you in the audience are real doll owners or doll husbands, because I do not want to get any comments from some heartbroken doll husbands who said, I tried the shit you showed in your video, and now my wife's boo-boos look like shit, or it didn't go well, and now she's in worse shape than she was before. I don't want to hear those kind of comments. Just please take into account that I am not a professional before attempting anything if you happen to have a doll. If you want to hear from some experts, those you'll find those on the doll forum. There's a couple of doll doctors there that are much more skilled at this than I am and can do much better jobs with much better results than what you're about to see me do. Couple months or so ago, I did a repair video where I did a little bit of surgery. My little baby real doll Sarah here. I had fixed her finger wire pokes as well as some various other boo-boos that she had. And the product I used, I think I got it over here somewhere, was super glue gel. And I can't seem to find it over here anyway, but it was Gorilla super glue gel. I took that video down, I think within a few days, because the repair failed the next day. Problem was, the silicone flesh is soft and flexible, and that super glue gel gets hard, and if you use it on a flexible surface, it'll crack and break all to pieces and fail, and that's exactly what happened. So I'm going to try fixing her up again, and this time I went on the doll forum and posted the update video there where I had stated that the repair failed, and somebody had said to try windshield sealant. Well, I couldn't find windshield sealant, but I did find this in the automotive department at Walmart. Permatex adhesive sealant clear RTV silicone. And I'm going to try it here on her elbow because this is the easiest to keep together, because when her arm is held out straight, the wound closes up on its own. So all I got to do is glue that up, get her arm out straight and keep it down, and wrap some tape around it to keep anything from touching it until it cures. It says on here to let it cure for 24 hours. So I'm just going to try it on her elbow first, and then about this time tomorrow evening, see how it held up, see how strong of a repair it is, and if it really worked, then I'll go ahead and untape her fingers again. And she's got another new finger wire poke here on her right thumb, and well, no, this will be her left thumb. Yeah, this is her left hand, but this one had never torn through before, so that's a new finger wire poke. But yeah, if this works, and when I do this, I'm also going to go ahead and fix this little gouge there. And if it worked well on this elbow, I'll go ahead and do the rest of her boo-boos. And you guys will see the footage of that here shortly, because I'm going to put all this together in one video. Now, you don't want to use the tip that came with the silicone and just start squeezing the shit in there. What I normally use is a toothpick. I just stick it in there and then I'll apply it to the repair. In this case, I got this little flap I'm fixing to do, and I just apply a little in there with a toothpick and then close it up. Well, I got that glued up, and I got some red electrical tape just loosely wrapped around her to keep bed lint and stuff from getting in there and sticking to that repair. And yeah, I know she's pretty dirty, but I haven't been able to give her a bath because of these open wounds. You don't want water getting under her skin or it could rust out her joints. But I'll get back to this tomorrow about this time, see how effective this was, and if it worked very well, then be doing this on the rest of her wounds. Well, it's been more than 24 hours now. It's probably been more like 36 hours. Let's see how that silicone adhesive did. Okay, let's get her little arm out here. Yeah, that's a pretty strong repair. I can't manage to tear that back apart, and it is flexible, unlike the super glue gel was. This isn't cracking apart, and yeah, as you can see, she has got a ton of bed lint stuck to her. Because like I said before, I haven't been able to give her a bath and powdering because of all these open wounds on her. You don't want water getting under her skin. So now that I can see clearly that this Permatex silicone sealant makes a good repair, go ahead and do the rest of her. Now this is the really tedious part of this process. That sealant there, it takes 1 hour to dry, and it takes 24 hours to cure. And so during that hour that it takes to dry, you got to make sure that the repair is held together. So whatever part of the doll's body you're repairing must be held together by some means for the first hour. And she's got a total of 5 finger wire pokes, 2 on this hand, 3 on her right hand, and so that means 5 hours of my life is going to be spent just, holding her fingers. The one thing that helps on these fingers is to take the skin of the finger and pull it up past if the finger wire poke is at the very tip of the finger, which it usually is, you can stretch the skin of the finger up a bit to get the tear above the tip of the finger wire, and that'll help it stay together better, because it's more difficult to hold it closed when the wound is sitting on the tip of the finger wire. Just don't pull too hard, or you might rip the skin, all the skin off her finger, and then you'll have to fix that. And anything you fix on a real doll is hardly ever the same again, not unless you spend $50 on Abyss Creations Real Doll website ordering the color match repair kit. And hell, just a little pouch of the Silopoxy they charge $20 for. And I suspect that shit that comes with the dolls and that they sell on their website is probably just that shit squeezed into a pouch. And it's like a little pouch too. you get a hell of a lot more of that than you get in those little pouches from Real Doll. And that only costs $4. So, you know, you go to the Real Doll website and order repair Silapoxy, you're paying 5 times as much for probably a very small portion of what's probably the same product. Now, I tell you what, I love Sarah with all my heart, but I can't do this for 5 hours. After this finger is done, I'm going to run to Hobby Lobby and see what kind of clips or clamps or tape I can get to hold this together for at least the hour that it takes for this shit to set. And even after it's set, you want to lightly wrap some tape around it to keep anything from rubbing up against it, and you want to leave the area undisturbed for the 24 hours that it takes to cure. So whatever part of the doll's body that you repair, you want to not touch it for 24 hours. Even if that means 24 hours of blue balls, because one of the parts of Sarah that I got to repair is her vaginal insert. It's torn in 3 places, and there's also a tear at the entrance of her asshole, and I got to repair that too. She just got all kinds of wounds everywhere. Even her nipples are coming off too, so I got to re-glue those. Okay, I'm back. I went to Hobby Lobby to get some things I would hope would make this job easier, but I ended up leaving Hobby Lobby and going to Dollar Tree because Hobby Lobby's prices were ridiculous. All this stuff was $1 a piece at Dollar Tree. 36 clothespins, 100 popsicle sticks, and 2 packs of Scotch tape. Hobby Lobby wanted $5 for a pack of popsicle sticks, $6 for a pack of clothespins. Now I didn't even bother to price Scotch tape. I couldn't even find it. So, fuck Hobby Lobby. I got all this stuff for $3 at Dollar Tree. And popsicle sticks probably won't be in this video. Those will be used when doing her nipples and vaginal insert, but I'm going to make separate videos on those because then I can have a video with the word nipples in the title, and it might get more views because, you know, this is YouTube. Okay, well, back to this. Well, that's the best result I could do with that. A clothespin to keep the skin up off the bone, and some clear tape to just hold it closed. And you want to use clear tape for that so that you can see that the wound is actually being held closed properly. Now to do the other 5. Or 4, I mean. Well, this one's probably going to be more of a pain in the ass because of how big this tear is. It goes almost all the way down her finger. We'll see how it goes. Well, I just got that one done. Got it taped up. I don't know how well that's going to cure though, because I think that RTV silicone needs airflow to cure. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to give these 2 their 1 hour set time, untape them and see how they did, and then if they turned out well, I'll do the others the same. In the meantime, I may go ahead and start work on the nipples and vaginal insert, which will be in a different video. Okay, it's been over an hour now, and I've taken the tape off, and the silicone actually did set under the tape. So now finger wire pokes on her left hand have been fixed. And there's a little bit of a crater there. I may go ahead and just give that a little pass over with a popsicle stick there. And I just repaired her nipples, vaginal insert, and her vaginal insert cavity in her butthole, but that'll be for another video. So now that I can see that this process works, I'll go ahead and do all the finger wire pokes on her right hand, as well as a little boo-boo on the bottom of her foot. She has another little tear on her, let's see if we can get this camera over there without getting any R-rated shots, because you don't want any R-rated shots for this video. But now I can't quite get the camera over there without seeing something naughty. So, but on her right elbow on the inside, there's a tear, probably where her skin got caught in the elbow joint. I got to fix that. So there's that, the little boo-boo on her foot, and then tears along the corners of her mouth. Her top row of teeth are falling out. Got to glue those back. And her oral insert is partially torn. I got to glue that back together. Okay, so throughout this process, I was also working on, like I said earlier, repairing her nipples and genitals, and I was filming that video alongside this one, and I just finished up that video, just got those repairs done, and I put this throw blanket over her because this video is not rated R. If you want to see the repair of the little naughty parts, then see that video, which I'll upload after this one. So now, also what I did that I didn't bother shooting for this video was I fixed a little tear in her right foot. It was just a little tear on the bottom of her right foot. And also, I fixed this little tear on the inside of her right elbow. And I got some scotch tape around it to hold it closed. Although, camera's not seeing this well, but I think I see a little hole in that patch, so I'm going to have to do a touch-up on it. But all that's left to repair now is these finger wire pokes on her right hand, these little tears in the corners of her mouth, and I got to pull out her oral insert and repair it because her top row of teeth is wanting to come out. It's barely attached, and you won't be able to see this well, but her gums are split, so I got to glue that back together. So I'm going to fix these finger wire pokes, take out that oral insert, do the repairs on it, do the repairs on the corners of her mouth, and that'll wrap up all these repairs, although she really needs new eyelashes. These got broken like over a year ago. The camera will fucking focus. But yeah, these have been broken for over a year. And I gotta... This side here isn't as bad. But yeah, I don't have an eyelash kit for her right now, though. That'll be a different video. Holy fuck, I thought the pinky on her left hand was bad. Look at this. There's probably 5 millimeters of skin left there that it hasn't ripped. This one's going to be a pain in the ass. Well, based on what I can see through the tape, the scar that's going to leave is going to look like shit. But oh well, I don't really pay a whole lot of attention to her hands anyway. I got that index finger done, and just all I got left is that thumb, and then I can move on to her head. Well, I'll tell you what, that right thumb actually ended up being the easiest of these finger wire pokes. I just pulled the skin up to get to make sure the wound was up and away from the tip of the finger wire, and just put a couple of clothespins on it to hold it up, and then I just put the silicone in there, and the wound just held itself together. So just got to let that set. So now all I got left is just the oral insert and the mouth corner tears. Well, here's a good look at the oral insert, and you can see clear view of what's exactly wrong here. Got a tear on each side of the gum line, and the top row of teeth is wanting to come out. In fact, they're just kind of just barely hanging on. I think the bottom row is probably fine, other than of course one broken tooth, but I'm not worried about that. I mean, hell, my head is full of broken teeth. And of course there's actually a little magnet supposed to go in there, but yeah, I'm not going to concern myself with that. I actually still have the magnet, and I'm using it on my refrigerator, but this insert stays in just fine without it. Got another magnet that's wanting to come out. I'll just cover that up in some of the silicone. So yeah, pretty much this mouth insert here is actually not in bad shape. It doesn't really need to be replaced. I can just glue this back together. If the repairs hold up, this oral insert is still good. Unlike the vaginal insert, if you watch the other video, that vaginal insert is in really bad shape and really needs to be replaced. I just can't afford to replace it right now, because that's on a list of other things on Sarah that need to be replaced. Her eyelashes need to be replaced. Her nipples need to be replaced. Her vaginal insert needs to be replaced. And she's got, I believe, rust in her right hip joint, so that hip joint's probably going to need to be replaced. But let's get on with this. I just put some silicone up in here, get these teeth back in place, get that some silicone up there and into that joint there, get that put back together. This one ought to be pretty easy because it just holds itself together. Maybe I can put a little tape around it just to make sure it stays together, but this ought to be easy. And the same goes with the mouth corner tears, because normally they hold themselves together, especially with no oral insert in there. So her head is really loose. It's the screw in her neck that holds her head on. It's just one screw with I believe a 3/16 Allen. I've got the Allen key around here somewhere, but I keep on tightening that up, but it always just keeps coming loose again. Maybe I'll try, maybe one of these days I'll actually take her face off, take her skull cap off, and get in there and take that bolt out, put some red Loctite on it and tighten it back in. But that'll be a project for another day. For now, let's just wrap up these repairs. Okay, got those teeth glued back into place. Got the sides glued up here, and I got Scotch tape wrapped around it to make sure it's held together. And just let that set. And once it cures, hopefully it'll be a good, strong, permanent repair. And this oral insert will still be good. Won't need replacing. And I just got done gluing up the corners of her mouth. So just let all this set. As far as all these procedures are concerned, everything is done. Just gotta let everything set and let everything cure. See how it does. Okay, it's been about an hour now, and on this oral insert, the repair to the gums is good. They're all back together, nice and strong. Teeth are held in, but there's a little bit more silicone that needs to go in between the gums and the teeth. And yeah, just need to push just a little bit more up in there. But this oral insert that the tongue doesn't want to stay in the right position in should be good. And corners of her mouth, those are good. Got a little excess on this side, but oh well. It's only noticeable up close. This thumb turned out really well. That's nice and repaired. Got this one here is repaired, but we got quite an ugly scar, but ain't nothing I can do about that. And this pinky, fucking camera will focus on it. Yeah, this is a fucking mess. That'll never be the same again. We got a little tear on this side somehow. God damn, getting an iPhone to focus is a bitch. But yeah, all I got left to do here is just take care of that. Get some filler in here because this isn't quite closed up. We gotta oh, come on, focus. Yeah, I got a little bit of an opening here. Yeah. So I gotta get a little more in there. Yeah, this didn't close up all the way. This wasn't held all the way closed, so we got a gap that's just filled in with silicone. You just have to put a layer on it so that it's sort of even with the skin. It's just gonna look rough, but hardly anything I can do about that. I really wish Abyss Creations would provide hand replacement molds where you just about right here at the wrist, you just cut and just pull the skin off the hands, and then they have a mold you clamp on there and fill with silicone and just mold new hands. That would be nice. They don't provide that, so she's just gonna look like this. Okay, well, I was pulling on these teeth earlier and they are in there now. So this oral insert is all fixed up and it is good to go back in. These fingers, they're all set now. Couple of them look kind of rough, but they are back together, good and strong now. And that certainly looks better than big old wads of blue electrical tape. So get this oral insert back in. And like I said earlier, the corners of the mouth are good now. So get that back in. Well, there we go. All these repairs are done. Her oral insert is back in, and she's all snuggled back up nice and cozy under these covers, including her electric blanket, which I just turned on, getting her nice and warm. And now she ought to be in the best shape she's been in a while. all her little boo-boos are fixed and everything on her body is all sealed back up. Only thing left out is her vaginal insert. I'm gonna leave that out until at least 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. I want to give that the full 24-hour cure before I put it back in, because I want to water test it first. I want to fill it with water, hold it shut, and then squeeze it with my other hand and see if any water comes out of it, because that thing is supposed to be watertight. But that concludes this video. And of course, a bath is going to be in her future, because she is pretty filthy from not having had a bath in quite a while, because, you know, her not being sealed up, having all those boo-boos, didn't want water getting under her skin. But she's all sealed up now. And although, you know, everything's not had the 24-hour cure, everything is pretty strong. I'm pretty sure she's ready to be back under the covers and back to snuggling. So, thanks for watching, and leave a comment if you have one.